Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast, making a positive difference in learning through innovation.
Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast. Thanks for making us part of your educational PD journey. In today's episode, we're diving into the world of teacher productivity and sharing the 10 top must-have tools for Magic School AI that will revolutionize how educators manage their time and resources. Whether you're swamped with lesson planning, struggling to engage students, or looking to streamline communication with parents, these tools are designed to tackle those challenges head-on. Join us as we explore how these innovative resources not only enhance teaching efficiency, but also empower educators to focus more on what truly matters, nurturing and inspiring students. So stay tuned, and we will unveil the game changers that can help elevate your teacher's experience. I am Jimmy Kate.
Nicole Lapointe,
Priscilla Calcutt,
Eileen Fernandez-Parker.
And we are Innovative Learning Coordinators and Director of Technology Education here at Berkeley County School District. And we love Magic School, and we really had a hard time with trying to break down the 10 tools. So you're probably going to hear a lot more tools thrown in here as well, but we try to do our best to kind of organize, just focusing today on teacher productivity. We will have other episodes in the coming, looking at students, looking at all kinds of different tools that students can use, looking at, all the different, because there's over, 60 different tools now in Magic School, and they're always adding to them. And so, we really had a tough time. So hopefully you will enjoy the 10 and probably a few extras as we get on. But the first one we really dove into was the kind of unit plan, lesson plan tool that automatically generates, unit plans and lesson plans based off of what your learning objectives and standards. So, Priscilla, what's the best way for a teacher to kind of get started doing that?
Well, first go to Magic School, and
Yes.
We're lucky in Berkeley County that it's linked directly to ClassLink,
Correct.
so you're able to go straight into there. And I love how Magic School prompts us with the inputs that are needed to get started. And so with
Yes.
the unit plan and lesson plan, you can have, your specific standards, you can have topics or skills that are needed and select your grade level. And it is a great starting point. It gives you those
Yes.
initial ideas brought together, and it's well organized. I love the way that it organizes all of its outputs. It bolds the headers for different parts, like it may be the opening of a lesson or assessment or things like that. So I think it's simple to use.
I met with a teacher Friday, a new teacher, an art teacher, and he was talking about lesson planning. And I said, hold on, have you seen Magic School? And he was like, wait a minute, can I take pictures of this? Can I record what you're doing? He said, I'm working on my lesson plans and my unit plans the past weekend. So I'll have to check back with Mr. G and see how he did with that. He was super excited.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. G. Yeah, so using your, again, Magic School, going right through ClassLink, and then being able to, search for different, tools. And then this one is, again, the unit plan, lesson plan. You can also favorite certain tools as well, so take advantage of that and really kind of get you going into that direction. And Eileen, we know that you love the second tool that we're going to talk about, and that is the rubric generator. Talk about how teachers can benefit from the rubric generator.
Okay, so when I tried the rubric generator, I was blown away by how quickly it makes a rubric. Like it for me to make a rubric and then hone it so that it was really well done, easily would have been 3 or 4 hours. And it gave me the framework that I needed so that I could just tweak, and it was done in like 30, 35 minutes, So what I do is I just type in that I need, because I was English, I usually will do, we're writing, I need a rubric for a persuasive writing on, and I'll give the topic, and the criteria I need to grade on are, and then I put the criteria in. It breaks it down. It gives me my 4 columns, my 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can tell it I only need 3 columns. It's a 3-point rubric or a 4-point rubric. And it did such a great job. And sometimes they leave things out, and you have to say, could you redo it and add mechanics? And then done, mechanics are in there. And then maybe I didn't like something, or 2 were too similar, or it was too long. Could you combine this and that? And then it just does it. It is amazing. So what your brain tells you it needs, it does for you.
Yeah.
And I think the big piece here, and you heard it in both of these tools, is that this is the step, this is the rough draft, this is the framework, and then the teacher's got to make sure that they're adding to it and making it exactly fit their classroom. So there's always that human element that has to be part of it as well.
Right, and checking for accuracy.
Yep.
like Eileen was just saying, when you're creating that rubric, it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it does give that starting point, and you can go back and refine it more. I like too that you can actually put in the standard, the standard that you're looking for persuasive writing, if you're looking for it to have a opposing argument in your writing as well. So
right,
that was a big hit whenever
Oh my
we've done the
gosh.
sessions.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
The rubric generator.
The next tool on our list is the DOK questions tool that helps generate depth of knowledge questions to promote higher order thinking and assessments. And who wants to start off with that one? I don't know who's used that one a whole bunch or not. I know you have as well. So
We've done it in the session, and we start out with just some basic multiple choice questions and then say, can you go a little higher in the depth of knowledge, and watching it transform those questions into the higher level thinking questions was amazing. Teachers and anybody who was in the session was very impressed that it was information that they'd have to go find, or they'd have to create themselves, or they'd have to copy and paste. And of course they had to, look at it, are the answers correct and stuff. But
yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. It would give you, 2 to 4 questions under each level of DOK. And you think about, oftentimes the standard calls for students to analyze or to apply at those much higher levels. And sometimes we get stuck in those simple, recall questions at DOK 1, et cetera. And so it kind of gives us an idea, ourselves of how we could actually scaffold assessments too for our students, starting off of that lower level when we were beginning teaching a topic or, a particular standard, and then building upon that. And one thing that was so cool about it is that once you put in those questions, you can say, hey, suggest some activities for me, or could you give me some performance-based assessments that students could do? It's just awesome.
Yep. It's a great way to personalize, the questions for your classroom and break it up so that everyone has an opportunity to be a part of it and answer it, and then go through those different levels and see the growth that takes place.
Yep. And one of the things that I also learned to do is ask for more than what you need, so that you can eliminate the ones that are not so strong, and you still have as many as you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Magic School talks about, in their training, they talk about how if you compare it to a Google search, in the Google search, you want to give less, so then it will give you more opportunities. But it's the exact opposite with Magic School. You want to give it as much as you can.
Yes. Yep.
Be that prompt engineer.
Yes. Our fourth tool is the PBL, the project-based learning tool. And this is just a great way for, teachers to get started if they're interested in doing project-based learning, or they just have a particular topic or subject that they want their kids to that they're getting engaged in, that you can now kick it up another notch and put in all your different information, put in your standards, your topics, and then it just creates this project-based lesson for you that you can then take, tweak, and make your own. And it's a great way for a teacher who's never used any project-based learning but really wants to get started with project-based learning. It's a great starting point.
Don't you wish they had this when you were in the classroom a few
Right.
years ago with all the project-based
Yes, that
learning you
saved
did?
me definitely a whole bunch of time.
Yeah.
And that's what this episode's again about: saving some time, increasing productivity, but also increasing engagement and rigor and interaction and all the things that that we want as teachers, I think, as well.
What blows me away is that when I do an engineer a prompt, the information I get back is almost as if I were sitting in a group of people and we had all brainstormed our ideas. Yeah. It's a thought partner on steroids. And so that's where, for me, because it can take me like 3 or 4 hours to warm up to really good ideas. And there they all are. Yes. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then Priscilla, you introduced us to this one, the common misconceptions. This is our 5th tool here in Magic School. Tell us about common misconceptions and what you like about it.
Well, I really like common misconceptions because oftentimes as teachers, we have our toolbox and it's loaded, and then we get additional tools and ideas from our friends. But at some point you get to, I've exhausted all of my tools and I don't know what to do. And so I love this because it gives you those common misconceptions around a skill or a standard that students might have. And then you can ask it more, well, what could I do to help a student with this? So it helps to build your tools along the way. But those common misconceptions just help you right from the start.
Yeah. Our sixth tool is the group work generator, another one that I wish I would have had because my whole class was about collaborative group work. And what's great about this one is, again, you're putting in what you want, your standard, your topic, your unit. It's going to create this group project. It's going to create roles for each one of your students. It's going to give a description of what that role is so that you can have that for your students as well. So it definitely gets you rolling. And, if you want to do collaborative activities with one student, this is a great place. It gives resources, talks about how they can communicate better. It's a great place to, again, get started with group work generator.
Yeah, and small groups can be intimidating for teachers when they're first getting started. And I love how it does include the roles. It helps set you up for success.
Yep.
And then you can give those roles right to the students so they understand what their role is, their description, and really helps facilitate how that group work. And it's an important thing to, again, learn how to be able to work in a group. And this is a great way to get that started as well. So our seventh tool on the Magic School top 10 of many that are going to come in the future, but again, we're looking at just teacher productivity, is the class newsletter. We know how many teachers have probably spent a lot of time creating that newsletter, putting in all that information. Now they have this wonderful tool that is designed to create visually appealing newsletters to keep parents and students informed with classroom activities and updates. So I know that most teachers would love to have this.
Right. And this can be, they can include the students if they launch it to students, hey, what's something important you thought we were working on in class that you want to share in the newsletter? And they can add, some of the tools in. The teachers could add some of the tools in to make it, that the whole class is working on.
And a newsletter is something that I always wanted to do, but it was the thing that I was like, I just don't have time. Because I was English, I was grading, so many essays, and being able to do it quickly, and it really is like having an administrative assistant, in the room with you.
Agree. Yeah. And one powerful piece to it that you can use in any of the tools is the translator.
Yep.
And so if you think about, if you're a teacher and you have many students whose parents don't speak English, you want to be able to communicate with them. And what a easy, powerful way to do it. At the bottom of any of the tools right next to where you put your input, there's a plus button, and you can click on it and it says translate. And I believe there are over 90 languages available, and it just happens like this. It's wonderful. You can use it with emails. You can use it with that rubric if you wanted to send home maybe one of those PBL projects that you were doing, so then the parents could be informed. Or you get a student, this is their first day and they don't speak English. You want them to feel welcomed, what a great tool you could use real quickly if you needed it.
Which really takes us into our eighth tool, and that is text tools. And these are actually, this is where I guess this is more than the top 10, because there's a number of text tools that is in Magic School. There's Translate, there's Summarize, there's Rewrite, there's Proofread, there's Scaffolding, there's Leveling, there's Decodable Text. So there's so many different text tools that you can find right inside of Magic School to help facilitate all of those things. So,
if you just search text,
yep,
in the search bar, it brings you to all these. And I just added decodable text because I was working with a SPED teacher on Friday, and I was trying to get her acquainted with Magic School. When I showed her that, it was like, okay, I'm sold. So make sure you check out all those under text.
And I know in our office, if we don't have Eileen there, then we're all going, oh gosh, who's going to be our proofreader? And so it's nice to have Magic School for that person.
Yep. So lots of different text tools in there. And another one that's kind of our ninth tool that also kind of goes right along with that, and that's professional email and the email responder. Yeah, these are definitely in no particular order, because I think if all the Magic, this is the one that I use the most. I don't think I've written an email since then without using it.
Oh, we know.
It just makes it so much better and makes it sound so much nicer than I would have made it sound. And it includes all the information. It'll add links. It does everything for you. So definitely using that professional email and email responder is definitely
and you can even change it up a bit, because sometimes I'll ask for it and then I'll say, okay, if somebody gets that email from me, they know that's not how I talk. So I might say it in a, I don't know, different way, or say it in a more sunshiny way, or I say
less
something
formal,
less formal, and then it changes the tune a little. So
that tone is so important to put in there, to polish it up and make it more like what you're looking for.
Right.
And that email creator is also super powerful when you get an email from a parent that is a little spicy and you're kind of like, ooh, I don't know how to respond. You can put the email that you got in and it will give you a response that then you can make sound like yourself. And it's so helpful because you're emotional at that time, right? But the AI isn't. So
yeah, I've said the AIs ruin the word resonate. You can't ever use resonate in normal sentences or text anymore because everyone's going to know that you used AI. I use resonate all the time. And
hey, and don't forget that plus you can also translate it on that.
Right.
That response to the
resonate and delve. They've ruined the word delve as well.
There you go.
Now we know what to look for in Jimmy's email.
There you go.
You got to get rid of it.
When it starts using demure, we know something's going on.
And so our final of all of this is really what the 10th tool that we're going to talk about, even though we've talked about so many more, really is the tool recommendation. So if you get lost and you don't know which tool to use, there is actually a tool recommendation tool inside of Magic Tool School that can suggest appropriate educational tools, resources based off of your needs, objectives to help, again, your instructional strategies and productivity. So
sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So that's a good place to start.
Yeah, because they're actually up to 70 tools now.
Oh, they are 70. Yeah, they just add all the time.
They're just more and more.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then across the top too, in your navigation, you'll see some I don't know, I guess oval shaped bubbles, and they're in gray, and that also will kind of divide those tools into categories. Like they have one that's questions. So if you click on questions, you're going to get that DOK, that multiple choice. You're going to get those types of things. Exactly. And so I think that Magic School really is responding to educators. And one thing we want everyone to know is that this is a company of educators.
I was just going to say that.
And it makes a big difference. And it has guardrails that already exist within it. It meets, FERPA and COPA compliance, and we're just excited to have it in our county.
Yes, absolutely. So.
Can I add one? Science teachers, there is a science labs tool that is amazing. It gives you everything, materials, steps, everything you need in a fraction of a second. Crazy.
Yep. And each subject has kind of a different tool in there. We're going to be breaking it down throughout the whole year by subjects, by student usage, by everything that we can come
Teachers.
Up with. Yep.
We want to hear what you're using.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yes.
how you're using it
to us as well. So again, find it in ClassLink. Don't also forget to check out the BCSD AI Navigator that's also in ClassLink as well to find best practices and a good way to start kind of the implementation of how you're going to use it. We'll have that linked inside the show notes as well. So definitely check that out.
I have one little problem.
Uh-oh.
And it's a good problem.
Right.
Every time I find a tool I love, I favorite it.
You have too
I
many
know. My favorites are taking over the top. So
Exactly.
I was like, wait, this one's great for so-and-so, or this one's great for this group.
All right. Yeah. That's that. Yeah. You gotta keep those favorites down to maybe a couple.
Jimmy, it's like me and my emails. We're different. You and I.
Well, we hope everyone found today's episode insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to check out the show notes for a treasure trove of resources. We have a list of the Magic School tools in there. We'll have some links to the podcast video and also to the Innovation Squadcast PD that's available in Unified Talent. Every 2 episodes, fill out a Google form. You get 1 hour of renewal credit. Make sure you stay connected. Subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or your other favorite podcast platform to be the first to know of our latest episodes. And we want to hear from you. If you have any ideas for new podcast topics, want to join us as a guest, share your thoughts for us, how you're using Magic School, we are excited to engage with our amazing teachers across our county.
Our podcasts are on our Facebook page and our Instagram page as well. So make sure you're still checking out that social media.
Check those out as well. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Until next time, keep innovating.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.